Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Gears Pro League Split 1 Day number 4. I'm Taylor Reflections Noble, joined by Guy Blaze, who's been calling the action tonight with the famous, of course, Colin and Jacob. But now I'm here. It's going to be a ton of fun, and I'm not going to lie, I'm excited to be here. Blaze, how you feeling?
Oh, man, I'm having a great time. I'm feeling great. It's awesome to hear your beautiful voice, man. That broadcaster-style voice in my ear just gives me chills at times. But, Taylor, we are about to get geared up for another great series that we got to watch on Emergence Day this past week.
Yes, we did. So it's going to be UYU going against Hive. Hive had a disappointing performance yesterday. I expressed my disappointment not only on Twitter, but also during that broadcast last night. I felt they should have played a lot more efficiently against VQ. I'm not going to lie. They made a lot of silly mistakes with their utility. They made a lot of silly mistakes in communication. There was times where they were, getting team kills. It just didn't make sense. They weren't playing like I'm expecting Hive to play. However, they are, in fact, going against a much different team tonight. Some would say VQ is actually better than UYU at this point, and the record will reflect that, but we'll definitely have to find out. It's going to be a good series, but I'm not going to lie. Hive, if they come playing, or ready to play at least, they might have a chance versus UYU tonight.
Yeah, man, we've seen teams come off some E-Day wins and, kind of try to take that momentum in the Pro League before and then not work out for them. That may have been Hive the last time around too, but we've seen plenty of teams do this, right? But in the end, Hive had beat VQ, but VQ was able to gather that information. It was the first time they had actually played Hive. They had never scrimmed them up until that point, and they were able to go back to the drawing board, figure out what they needed to change, and they did that yesterday in the Pro League. Now, Hive, they took down UYU before, and if I know the coaching staff well enough, I know that they are going to take what they were weak on that week before and apply their changes this week as well. And I'm curious to see what that is, because UYU was having some struggles on training ground and their fights at the front last time. And I want to see if that changed if we do get a chance to see training grounds once again.
Well, we always have to focus in on a couple of players. In this case, it's going to be Powerz and SoLuRs. Let's look at our head-to-head and see how they are looking, who's going to be favored. And you know what? It's honestly no surprise. Okay. Hive actually has had pretty good stats, believe it or not. And that's why you see that in the KDA represented in that head-to-head versus Powerz. He's got a better KDA, but not by much. Not by like a mass amount where you're like, wow, this guy is 100% better than this man over here. But you do look at those average kills, and that's where Powerz does excel. Now, granted, though, Hive has had at least one more match than that of UYU. So Hive, I think this is going to be their 5th game. For UYU, this is going to be their 4th game overall here in split number 1. So it does make sense as to why the total kills does lean more towards SoLuRs. But you know what? I'm going to be excited to watch these two go head-to-head. But let's get into the meat and potatoes of things. Let's look at our pick and ban and run through the maps. You mentioned training grounds. UYU decides to ban it for good reason. As you were breaking it down, we got District, Asylum, and Forge. Blaze, walk me through it.
All right, so District, Asylum, and Forge. We saw Hive. The first time they played UYU on District was in a Pro League, and if I'm not mistaken, Hive was either on the right path to winning that map, or they actually did win that map and lost it in a map number 3. But regardless, that's going to be, they have a lot of confidence on that map to take down UYU. On the flip end, UYU picked Hive's best map, actually, okay? This is a map in which Hive typically go to first, and UYU says, you know what? We want to put this map here on the forefront and just, beat you guys in what you're best at, because we feel like we're better there. And so I think this series is personally, well, I'll give you my predictions in a second, right? I'll give you my prediction in a second. But, it's going to be a close series to start, but you're about to find out the team that I think is about to come out here and win it.
Well, let's not waste any more time. Kill the suspense. Let's move into our predictions. And I think it's going to be no surprise that I have to go with UYU. I think across the board, everybody has to favor them. It's UYU after all, right? Despite making the departure of Mental, TJ being in there, UYU still has that historic presence that is hard to bet against. So therefore, I have to go with them, especially after last night's performance from Hive. They just were making silly mistakes. They weren't looking good. Their record reflects that they are just not cleaning up, or they're very inconsistent, it seems. So UYU's a safe pick. Blaze, what are you thinking?
I'm going with UYU as well. I think Hive is gonna, try to compete on. I think they can't compete on both maps, District and Asylum, but a close series. But ultimately, I think UYU gonna come out of here in a 2-0 fashion. I can't bet against them, Taylor. I've never bet against them, not in all the majors. I've always voted for this team to win with Xplosive here leading them. And this is no chance. This is no different.
All right, chat, where are you guys at? I would be very surprised if it's not UYU and it is UYU, and I think that makes sense. Hive, you're the underdogs. What are you going to do with this information? How are you going to come out on top? You got a lot to prove. The inconsistencies are there without question. Of the matches that have been played, Hive currently sits with a 1-3 record. But you know what? That doesn't sound as crazy as their overall map count. They are currently 2-7 map count, man. They are not doing well. The only maps that they were able to win was versus Elevate. Even then, it went to a game number 3. But when they met against Carnage, they met against PK, they met against VQ, they lost 2-0. Now, granted, though, I'm just going to be straight up. Blaze, that is a hard run. That is a hard couple of teams to go through.
That is very difficult. And the only time I bet against these guys is Mexico City and San Diego. Well, that's the only time they made my predictions look wrong, okay? Because, that's just how talented I feel like this roster is. But, hey, it's a new day, a new dawn, a new roster here, and a new season. And this UYU team, 4-3 map record. They had some struggles here to start out the Pro League, but let's see if they finally got all of that turned around.
Well, let's find out. UYU, though, the objective in hand. They won't have the lead, but they're going to gain it momentarily. They came out mid-battle, went to the way of UYU. They were doing a great job wolfpacking together and just taking member after member from Hive out. See a battle on for C, as it looks like Hive is starting to get pressured back, but Shock, though, starts and opens it up. Xplosive goes down. Praized still up. He's being lancered out from the neutral. Xovios is going to be up ahead. If Praized gets out of this, man, he's going to be a madman, but it looks like he could. TJ's there for the help, but believe it or not, they both fall.
Yeah, that cross coming out that middle juice there, that was number 8 or number 9, one of those two, but that support was able to get Hive out of their spawn, win that battle, and now they're looking for the rest of this map control. They're gonna win this by an elimination domination. So I didn't see if UYU chose not to spine in or just Hive's got a bunch of kills in quick succession. Because in the end, Hive was even playing for their home hill right there. They didn't have nobody near it. So if UYU would have spawned in, they may have been able to possibly turn that round back in their favor based off Hive's positioning.
Yeah, pretty interesting that UYU gives it up so early. That's not typical from them. I mean, you look at certain top teams, UYU, you look at PK, you look at others, and they don't traditionally give up rounds that quickly. But hey, maybe this is a new UYU. It's with no question that UYU has been struggling throughout the Pro League, without question. Even during emergence days, they've been struggling. Just the last week, they were 2-0'd by this very roster of Hive. Now, granted, Hive won the entire thing, even beating VQ along the way, and even Rise. So I don't know if it was a one-off week. They met VQ last night. They ended up losing very convincingly. Maybe tonight they're ready to play. But this is the thing, though. BYU's back in it. They didn't commit too many resources. So they've got all the resources, all the respawn economy in the world to try and win round number 2.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to tip your head out to your opponent when they have a great performance in a round. It just be like that sometimes. But you get the intel, you bounce back better in the next. UYU has some good map control here. They're going to lose a player. But now, as they start losing these players, they're going to drop back, try to fortify their home hill. They do have a player on Hive side of the map. But after Powerz gets taken out, we'll see how UYU wants to play this next. But they got to lead, Taylor. They don't have to do too much. At this point, it's just let Hive. Actually, I'm mistaken. That's Hive with the lead that won that fight. So excuse me here. It's UYU who have to turn back around and push them.
Yeah, Hive is looking good. I mean, I'm not going to lie. They have a decent-sized lead. It's growing. UYU has to try and push them back. You know what's interesting is UYU's been very, very passive, right? Giving up that first round earlier on, and then obviously now kind of hanging back. I think the old UYU with the mental on the roster would have pushed forward already at this point in time, but they are going to be stacking up. They're going for the overextension, but look at Hive. They're already ready for it. 3 members have rotated down.
All right, so Hive is here in a position to defend their home hill. Now, this is not going to be an easy break unless UYU can possibly either get some great stuns. That's going to be a nice bounce up the stairs. They're looking for a double decap and a reset, and they will get the decap and reset. So they're not worried about the cap just yet. UYU is just going to shift their attention to B because those two players just became defensive players. And now They got an Hive flustered. Now can Hive get out of this difficult spot? Praized, Xplosive, they're working too good together. Great chain of events here for UYU. That was a textbook retake of both those heals to get that trip cap domination.
Absolutely, man. Something that UYU needed. Going down 2-0 is not something that they wanted. After all, they did, in fact, well, they didn't pick this map after, but the thing is, though, they still are very confident here. Traditionally, UYU used to be the weakest district map, or at least this used to be one of their most weakest maps, right? But they ended up practicing it. They trained, and that's because Ashes, it's kind of funny. He had this like a random wheel that he would spin, and he'd say, all right, check this out. For E-Days, we're playing these maps right here. They had no choice. And the reason why he did that was to get them out of their comfort zone, to make them better on maps that they weren't as accustomed to. And that's what you have to do if you want to be one of the most dominant teams in the world. You've got to play maps that you're uncomfortable on, and you just kind of have to beat it to a pulp until the point where you're no longer weak on them and you can stand toe-to-toe against some of the best pro league teams out there. But if we go into round number 3, battle in mid now taking place in Demise. Looking to get out-angled here, and he's going to drop.
Real growth comes from being uncomfortable, so that's a good call out there by Coach Ashes. Now let's see how UYU has grown over these past 4 days of the pro league. Trip cap domination coming through. And it looks like they're growing pretty nicely here, Taylor. Nice aggression towards the home hill, nice mid-map coverage, and nice, rotations up there to make sure they locked in that B hill as well. You see, the IGL at the top, 5 caps, 4 kills, 3 assists, 2 deaths there. Explosives, he got his troops rolling today.
Yeah, he does, man. And Tidy, I need him to do a little bit more. Granted, he's got 6 assists, so he's still putting in that work, but 0 kills to his name. So that can mean a number of things. Maybe he's not in position to pick up any kills because he's picking up those assists. Maybe he's taking over those neutral positions, maybe in juice or info. Or maybe whenever he does get pressured, he's not able to capitalize because he's getting taken out by a plethora of UYU members. Either way, he needs to start getting those kills and helping out his team just a little bit more. Those assists are great, but get into that battle and go toe-to-toe with these boys. Either way, though, we're going to have a battle on Bandstand. Now, this could be reminiscent of a drop shot, especially if UYU takes this next round.
All right. Now, that flash is going to miss, and TJ is getting pinched, but we know he knows how to get out of some difficult situations at times, but this will not be one of those times. 3 kills in quick succession here for Hive. They know where the 4th is, but do they need it? Because the trip cap domination is coming through. They get it. Here's the 5th. The stuns hit, but Powerz movement was not enough. 3 players are going to touch this hill. We're all tied up 2-2.
Oh, man. Let me say this. This is a good series. Last round was, what, 30-something seconds, Blaze? You said they were coming together nicely, and then all of a sudden, Hive answers back in 42 seconds. First round gone in a blink of an eye. Now we're sending it into the second half. Now, that was an important round for Hive to win because now they don't have to think about any power weapons shifting up the fights because they're not working. They can just go to the tried and true, just build up those weapon trees on the sides, and they're feeling comfortable. Now, if it was Rise they were going against, Drop Shot would already be a bandstand. We know this. They love shifting that fight. But speaking of the devil, UYU says, why not? Let's full send. Let's have that fight at bandstand.
Hey, UYU, they must got some intel here in the early rounds because they say, you know what? We're just trying to go for this right away. No, we don't need to go tip attack here on the loadouts and the nades. We want to fight a big fight. We'll see what Demise can do because he's been playing phenomenal for Hive in these first few rounds. Off the start is Xovios versus his former front spawn and his duo and TJ. But he's going to avoid the fight, try to flank behind enemy lines, and ultimately Hive as a whole gets collapsed on by UYU and cleaned up. So now it's just number 8 left. Tidy, the home hill player for this map. He goes down. Can't win a 1v2. And UYU, they respond from that previous round that Hive had. They say, you guys aren't going to build up momentum against us.
And man, TJ did so well, that front spot going in, filling in the big shoes of Mental. Well played on his part. You know what? He may be 4-3, but he's picking up the big kills when they matter. Went toe-to-toe with Shock. As we know, Shock, such a monumental member for the side of Hive. And when he pops off, the Hive roster does very well. I'm not saying that he's not popping off here, but you know what? It's UYU, and it's just going to be a difficult matchup regardless. An important round for Hive to take. You don't want UYU to be at map point.
All right, so after that placement, we're going to see 2 shock grenades get placed down for both these squads. And, another good reason for, UYU putting that drop shot down center line is for them to get some more reps with TJ leading the charge, right? And I think that's the most important thing for UYU to work on early in this pro league. We'll see how they evolve. Now, both shot grenades are going to hit. TJ has some patience in the front, and he is able to be the last man standing there at bandstand and maybe picking up that drop shot soon. His IGL is able to find one, as well as Powerz. TJ comes away from bandstand to help him out, says, you know what? The 2v1 is going to be a little bit better. They're able to clean up that kill. Now, UYU is looking to go up here.
Oh, the trade. Kenny's pushing in with the drop. We know he's going to take it every time. He knows how to connect, and the first one's going out. Demise, watch out. Nope. He's going to get taken down, but up close, though. SoLuRs, he's going to nullify him. That extra drill bit for the drop is going to go to waste. And Hive will stay alive a little bit longer. If SoLuRs doesn't pick up that kill, Kenny's starting to triple cap.
Now, that drop shot's going to be out of play. Kenny died with one on his back. You can see that player coming up the short stairs. Now, this map's going to get slowed down for now. Hive is going to be looking to get control over bandstand here soon. We see 4 players on a mini map focusing towards this area of the map. We'll see if number 6 wants to commit or if he wants to go on his juice. And possibly you see a 2-man push out of Hive to get across this map, and maybe some help from number 9 as well. And this looks like that's what Hive is going to do. They're not going to approach this bandstand from the front stairs. They're going to start their push here from the mid map first.
I think that's going to be okay, because as of right now, you have player 3 and player 1 that's going to be there. Player 3, though, is going to be a pretty big thorn in the side of Hive, because he's going to be able to Lancer out. Player 1's going to be able to turn around and maybe even get the extra chip damage on players 7 and 6. But the battle, though, for the fresh drop is going to be there, tidy at the forefront. But there's that mid battle going in the way, underway, and UYU is going to take it with ease and focus their attention out on the SoLuRs. Player 9, as you pointed out, Blaze. Drop shots here, tidy falls. The Xplosive looks like he's going to be there for the pick. Meet shield, and man, UYU clicking to that 5 members down. Xovios, Demise, no reason to get back in. They're going to lose this round, and UYU will be at map point.
Yes, UYU will be. Now, I think Hive had the right idea on how they wanted to approach that bandstand fight. It's just that the wrong side of map started the push. It looked like they tried to make the push happen simultaneously, but they need the home hill player up top and the 2 players in middle. That push had to kind of trickle down from Cinema all the way down towards Arcade, because those 2 players who were looking to get into that bandstand had to push a little bit, had to push later. Now, I think the drop shot timer had a big portion of that, but the reason why I say that is because UYU, they were ready for him. And if Hive would have started to make a play for the home hill first, they could have thinned those defenses in the middle, got UYU thinking about bringing back some of those players who was guarding the bandstand and rotate through spawn to help there, rather than them able to get a clean 1v1, 2v and 2 2v2 fights.
All right, round 1, or excuse me, round 1, whenever that drop shot was there, UYU just absolutely destroyed Hive. Second round, the shocks is what did them in, and it looks like the shocks are going to do much the same for Xovios. TJ's going to fall, but hey, Tidy's going to be there. Get those cleanups, but Kenny is going to be the savior. He'll take Tidy down, who is going for the clean, and now Shock last up. He's dropped 5 members off and wrap it up. No, not just yet. Hold up a second. Xovios, Demise, get back in there. A lot of work to be done. A lot of work to be done.
My question is, who goes for the home hill? Is it number 2 or number 1? And it's gonna be number 1, because 2 got that drop shot, and there it goes. Kenny gets a double. He's looking for at least 1 more if he can get it. Had the active, but came up a bit short there. Now he's gonna threaten trip cap domination to force the players to him, and he's gonna be now in 1-shot range. And he's able to take 1 player to the grave, but does his teammates want to end this now? Does UYU think they can do it here? Oh yeah, they think they can.
Xplosive, are you kidding me?
Xplosive says, hey, you know what? I'm just going to stay here and wait for my team. I got a flash. I can hold them off for now. But, you know, even for him, he has the presence of mind to back up and wait for the squad. Yep. It looked like he wanted to go just take the 1v2 there for a second, but he is going to choose to back down.
I thought he was. Hey, when he threw that utility blaze, I thought he was going full sin, head down, going into it and trying to be a hero. But you know what? The right play, fundamentals, back up.
Even he knows how to take himself in check.
And this is the thing, man. UYU has a 100-point lead. Hive is just now getting their first points, albeit off of their own home hill. It's not like they're thriving here. So shock in hand, and Praized is going to use it to shut down that lane of attack.
That's a guaranteed boom shot. That's a guaranteed boom shot. You got that shot grenade. If you time that right, you'll be able to get that drop shot. right before that shock dissipates. Now, the question is that what time are they going to use it? They're going to choose now.
Yep.
Ooh. Oh, a little bit late. One player gets through, and he's going to have a flash. Praized getting crossed, but Praized has some support for himself as well. Hive started to push for that drop shot a little bit earlier because now it's about 15 seconds till it comes up off respawn. And by then, the win condition will already have been found for UYU as they close out map number 1 in a 5-2 fashion.
I mean, not even close. Let's be real. Not even close. First half, yeah, okay, it was definitely good. That drop shot was placed, made all the difference in the world. UYU didn't turn around. They were just solid. They were winning those initials. They had no issues securing the drop shot, giving it to Kenny, and backing up. Either way, good round for them. Xplosive 12 and 8, 3 devs. I mean, come on, that's pretty good if I had to say so myself. I'm happy for UYU. You know, that was a big improvement. That right there is the UYU I'm accustomed to seeing. Hive, though, on the other hand, I don't know if I saw any glaring issues, Blaze. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of like some of the matchups we've seen yesterday, you know, and I was talking to Colin about it. It's like, it's not like the team is doing anything bad. It's just the other team is doing it even better and they're capitalizing more. Were there any glaring issues from you on the side of Hive?
Well, the first thing that came to my mind when the map was over was that where's Shock at? Okay. And then I looked at and I saw the kill feed, the leaderboard, and he was at the bottom, 2 kills, 3 assists. And he just did not have a good performance that map. But then the next question comes to me is that does Shock always need to have an amazing map, dropping 25 kills a map for Hive to be successful? The rest of the squad has to be able to pick up that slaying power, and they have the tools to do so with Demise, Xovios, and SoLuRs. And I've been saying it all season long. I'm just, I'm proud of Demise for how he's picked up his slaying for the squad, but they need to be a little bit more consistent.
And that right there is perfect. And I'm glad you said that because we put so much attention on Shock, and for good reason, because Emergence Days last week, he popped off. He was the main component as to why UYU was defeated, why Rise was defeated, and why Hive was able to take grand finals over VQ. Plain and simple. It's because Shock popped off. But Shock, as you said, should not be the defining factor for this Hive roster. You can't put your eggs all in one basket. So the rest of the team really needs to find a way to back him up and just come together in their own right. Like I said, rounds 1 through 4, first half, no worries, back and forth, looked good. But once that drop shot was placed down, that slaying power from UYU really came to the forefront, and Hive just couldn't go toe-to-toe with them. They were getting 4-man wiped consistently throughout rounds 5, 6, and 7. The drop shot was going to Kenny, and Hive just fell flat. Bottom line, period. Overall, that was Hive's map pick here on District. That's the one they wanted to start it off with, and unfortunately, they will lose it. But let's not kid ourselves. When it comes to Asylum, we know UYU is dominant on that map, but Hive is a great second half Asylum team, so they're still in it.
But, as we said before, their coach wants to make sure that these players can get out of uncomfortable positions. Now, they're going to be playing on Hive's best map. Now, if you're Hive and you just lost District and now you're looking forward, it's like, all right, hey, Asylum's coming up. We're really good at this map. But somewhere in the back of your head, you're like, man, UYU picked us against us? They want to go with us on our best map? And so you know that they want to play you here, okay? They want to take you out now. And they say, hey, show us what you got because we don't think it's that good. So we'll see if Hive can, punch them back and get us to a map number 3. I feel like I've seen so many round 9s casted up here since the Pro League has started. So many map 3s as well, but we'll see if we get it again.
Hey, let's throw one right in there. You already mentioned a lot of round 9s. Elevate and VQ are in a round 9. I love to see this, man. Elevate is one of those teams. I love watching VQ as well. They've been going back and forth ever since the Gears Pro League qualifiers. VQ and Elevate have met each other many, many times, and it's a lot of fun to see how this is underway. You notice the only first map, so still a long series, and if Elevate strikes first, if Elevate takes a map off VQ here, it's going to be historic.
That is going to be historic. Now, Elevate, these guys have been getting better week in and week out, and this is a roster, just along with VQ, the 2 teams that I was looking forward to perform well. And they have been. Now, Elevate still got a ceiling that they can hit here, as well as VQ. But we'll see here if they can get this round 9 locked in, Taylor. So, Elevate has the lead. They're getting a decap at E as well. That's going to be a huge kill for them. But they have to immediately cut back and see if they can take care of Vital and Handles, and they will get these kills cleaned up. That's going to be problematic here for VQ. Sales was the only member left, but all other heroes are being decapped in this moment.
Yeah. Player 2 ended up rotating over. That was Handles. He doesn't get the full cap. 6 and 7 get the break. So VQ, despite threatening that triple cap, are still in trouble.
What is number 3
lot
doing?
of work to be done. Look, VQ has to get this push on E, 100%. Where's the button? No one's there. It looks like the break is in. Elevate, though, still with the win condition, and they're doing a great job fighting it out. VQ, you've got to get the caps, but player number 9 is getting the break as well for Elevate and wrap it up. It's got to be over with, surely.
Yeah, it has to. Oh, boy.
Ooh, it's over. Dragons, baby. Popping up.
That's the kill that's going to do it. Even though the other heal got capped another heal, that kill that Dragons made seals the round. And so I was questioning a second. I was like, okay, well, what is number 3 doing? Because in that moment, he had 2 teammates kind of close to him. And if they would have made a play together to get the incinerator, now nobody had button control off that 2-to-1 heal advantage in the end. That could have been their win condition, or they would have just had the kill slayed out so they can go to the next. But he was trying to support his teammate from across map, and his time, I think, could have better been used at fighting a 3v2 on Incinerator than rotating those numbers to the home hill of his opponent.
So let's talk about how special that win was. You know, VQ, they don't lose maps often. Let's not forget the preseason when they ended up playing in the Pro League qualifiers. They played in 3 weeks. They didn't lose to any team. Now, and I mean, not lose a series. They didn't lose a map to any team. Not to mention, too, the first week of Emergence Days for season number 3, they ended up winning the entire thing without dropping a map either. So basically, for the first month, for the first 3 weeks or month, VQ did not lose a single map. Now, of course, since then, they have been defeated on E-Days, but when it comes to the Pro League, they still sit 4-0. Elevate has a record that's, okay, it's 2-2, but they want a little bit more. To take that map and lead this series is special. VQ could be looking at their first loss of the season.
Yeah, they definitely could be. And, looking back on this, VQ, they lost Bunker against Apricity 3-5 in their series against them. And that was a nail-biting series that, went down to the distance map number 3. But you're absolutely right. They are in jeopardy of losing that perfect Pro League record. And, man, these next 2 maps is going to prove a lot out of VQ. See if they're really about it. If they can, be the holders of the crown when it comes down to being that best team in NA.
Hey, look, man, it's always so hard to lose map number 1 because the work that you have left is monumental. You've got to play 2 full maps and win 2 full maps. That's a lot to ask for. For VQ, they're capable.
It's fun, though,
it's
Taylor.
possible.
It's fun.
Huh?
It's fun.
Look, I agree, but I'm saying as a player, man, it's like, man, look at all the work we have. But let me say this and bring it back down to reality. Elevate is a fantastic Forge team. VQ is good on Forge, but they're not the best team, let's be honest. So the fact of the matter is when they start getting into those bread and butter maps of, Asylum, of District, whatever the series has for them, I think they're going to play a lot better, and Elevate's really going to have to stand up and try and play well. But either way, storyline is here. UYU versus Hive. Hive gets to break on B. There's UYU all ready to push him back. SoLuRs last alive.
I know some people out there like, Blaze, losing is not fun. And it's not about losing. It's about being challenged. It's about having an opponent that can help bring the best out of you and push you over towards that next level. Especially when you've been firing off on all cylinders recently, sometimes a good challenge is needed. And even though even though we're in the next series, but I was just going to say, even though VQ was 4-0 and we got some undefeated teams out there, not just to know, you still cannot get too comfortable because this squad's like UYU here and Rise out there, and may have got off kind of slow start, but guaranteed they will be picking this up by the back end of this Pro League going into that major because they're still some of my favorites to win it regardless of what their current stats are, right? So these new squads cannot get complacent. Now, UYU wins round number 1 here in map 2. And now we're seeing off the initial VQ is trying to use their numbers now and utilize those smokes to get a quick cap on B. But TJ, he's made his way through, but he wasn't able to get that kill on SoLuRs. And now that's going to be 2 kills going in favor of Hive. And we'll see what they can do with that.
I I like their map presence. You look at that mini map, you got 2 on streets, you got 1 at pavilion, you got player 1 who's going to be on the flank looking to challenge player number 9. Hive has options, but it looks like their best option is just back up and just wait for UYU to push. Where are they going to allocate their troops, right? You don't want to spread yourself too thin, make a push there, go for a triple cap, which is going to be very difficult to do anyways against any team, but albeit, you know, with this being UYU. So I think that was the better play. Just kind of hold back the troops because now they're going to need to allocate them down to stop players 0 and 6. It's going to be Praized as well as TJ looking to push in. But I'm interested in player number 9 from UYU. That's going to be Kenny. He might decide to push through pavilion and challenge player number 2, which is going to be SoLuRs. If he does, that could open up a door. But it looks like right now all is going to be calm.
Everything is calm, man. The calm before the storm. Now, who's going to be starting this storm? It's going to be UYU. And usually when they start the storm just ends the round. And they just say they're able to pick up all these kills. And we'll see if they can do that right now. Now, UYU is going to be choosing to use all 3 of their players to get this decap on B and a capture, but Hive got them in a nice cross because number 2 flanks around. Number 5 has that cross right there through the trees. And even though UYU started it, Hive, they was able to weather that storm, and now they're looking to come back into this round, making a trip cap domination of their own. Praized finally falls. Great effort by him, but Hive, they're about to get this win condition. Can UYU stop them?
Looks like, oh, they're trying, but Shock is there. We talked about Shock popping off. It's going to be a solid kill. This is the thing, though. Even if Hive doesn't get this, UYU is still going to be in a lot of trouble, and they're going to have an uphill battle to climb. I mean, the score is so one-sided over towards Hive. That's practically GG, and UYU, they know it. They see the writing on the wall. They're going to go ahead and give it up, bring it 1-1. A solid round from Hive. It was a good decision backing off, not going for the overextension, not trying to lock in that triple cap, but backing off and allowing UYU to try and push forward. They wasted a lot of time, but when they finally made their move, Hive was ready defensively. They shut them down. And then whenever they had numbers, they took advantage of the triple cap. They pushed in and they made it count. That's what we need to see from Hive.
All right. So both squads are going to upgrade those smokes to incendiaries, and we'll see how they play into the initial. The focus has been down low on this B hill each of these last 2 rounds that have went past. Now we got a little bit extra utility to be added into the mix. Now UYU goes for a double cap just a bit, only for a split second, because they know that will give them the lead and automatically put them into a defensive stance. And so Hive, as they're trying to cap this hill, they're getting crossed out by number 9 and number 7. It's an incendiary grenade being cooked by one of these players also, ready to be tossed on top of the hill, but UYU was not able to capitalize off Hive playing for that capture at B, and usually they're able to right off the start. But as we see, Powerz made big plays in the middle, and that's why he picked up 2 kills on the flank, opened the door wide open to Hive's home hill for his team, and they're about to go have a house party.
Yeah, I was watching player 7 on that map. Powerz going on that flank, picked up 2 nice and easy before Hive even made the call out. But hey, even though they suffer some casualties, player 3 sees an opportunity, and Demise heads straight over to UYU's home hill. Big kill though onto 1. Powerz will fall. TJ's there to help him out, and UYU will recover. But look at Hive already. Going to be a mismatch on tracks. 3v2. You got Praized, you got Kenny trying to stop player 4, 5, and Tidy and Shock. Praized is putting in good work though. That's going to be a drop, and those Hive members fall to the wayside, and UYU recovers the neutral.
And UYU is going to have their home hill covered as well as the mid lane. So at this point, they're just waiting for the rest of their teammates to come back off respawn. Ivy just spawned up. He has plenty of respawns to utilize as well. So Hive has the lead, but not anymore as UYU pulls away with it. So now how is Hive going to break this one? We see Xovios inching up here down low. We also got 2 players. They're going to be able to check up on their fight up top. So this is going to be 3v3 down low, 2v2 up top. Now we're talking about on District when Hive has to make pushes like this and them making sure that they push the right lanes out first. This time around, they can push both at the same time if they want to. Now they got to work together to decap B, but after they decap it, they won't be able to cap it because the angle in which TJ has in the middle may force Hive to have to play for the kills instead. They're doing their best. Xovios is moving around, but with the double trains coming through, Hive was still not able to capitalize.
I'm Looking at the numbers in Hive, they're going to be down in a 5v3. UYU is slowly but surely starting to take one by one out. That's going to be yet another 2 down. Xovios isn't respawning back in, so you can. It is probably assured that UYU is going to take this round, and I think wisely so. Hive losing that neutral hurt them. It hurt them a lot. But Shock, all he can do now is just try and chip away at the respawn economies. Taking down Xplosive there was solid because he was at 2 out of 4. But it's going to be wrapped up, and UYU is going to take a 2-1 lead. They're going to lead in the first half.
Yeah, UYU is feeling comfortable currently. It seems like everything has been working out for them. And just by watching them play, it doesn't feel like they've struggled too much in this map and they've received too much pressure here from Hive. Everything that the Hive is throwing at them, UYU has been able to pretty much counter pretty smoothly. You know, now you're not going to win every shotgun fight, but their positioning has been well in this map. We'll see how that changes as we get closer towards the second half, and also if Hive will put any power weapon now to change the pace of the second half. And with Hive, with us knowing how good Hive is at that entrance fight, I don't think they put any centerline power weapons down just yet, or maybe even at all. They're going to make sure that they get that shot grenade down because that is a vital part of their strategy in the second half.
A part indeed. Here we go. Is Hive going to be able to answer back? They did it earlier on District, but can they do it here on Asylum? Tidy, he's going to give it his best shot. Pushing up, couple players from UYU there, ready to lancer him down. Praized is getting antsy, and he's going to throw his life away. Now TJ forced to back off. Xovios providing great coverage fire, and Hive has effectively won tracks. A good initial and a good start.
Now, you know, so Hive, they need some more personnel down low. Now, you're going to have a few players shift currently, but number one, he gave up middle to get behind his teammate down low. Now, I don't know. I was okay because the train was coming. I'm about to say, I don't know if I agree with that positioning for his part, but it was to get rotation to make sure it was 3v3 on the other end of the track. So nice heads up play there by Hive, but in their response to getting back into position, they were not able to make it back in the middle portion of the map before UYU. But here comes Shock to possibly save the day. He's able to clean up that kill on Xplosive and give his team a main advantage at B. And now he's quickly trying to get back up top to help Demise out. And they will stop UYU from taking their home hill. So if Hive can slow this down and get set up again, they could possibly win this map with one more team fight.
Oh, 100%. If they can shut UYU down on tracks right here, right now, they should have this map, or they should, excuse me, have this round locked in place, tie it up for the first half, and be good to go. Xplosive! What did you just see? Shock in the corner there? What was that? Just run straight into the barrel of the Nasher. If Praized falls here, that's going to be devastating, and he does. Blaze, what is going on?
Yeah, I think the smoke grenade, he just did not see him there off the right. And Shock, he played his position perfectly, knew the right opportunity to strike. He was communicating with his teammates effectively, and now they get to rotate back and take this fight at their home hill. But Xplosive is here in the mix, and now I'm questioning, was he the one that died on the tracks? Because he's already back at the home hill, making plays happen, picking up some kills. But was he able to cause enough commotion for UYU to get a win condition? Now, I think UYU, they get B hill capped up. They put themselves in all 3 lanes. Now with themselves having an intel, they're going to go for their special, the final push. It's about to be a brawl on Hive's home hill. SoLuRs may take the 1v1 against Kenny.
They're wasting so much time, man, and that Ensign is going to shut them down. They can't run through the flames. Xovios is... Okay, I saw it get halfway down, Blaze, and I was about to bite my tongue, but they wasted too much time. And they don't make it happen. But hey, good on Hive plays, is it not? I mean, 2-2, all tied up. A solid first half. And I'm going to say this. Hive, historically, is a great second half team. So now they're going to be playing in their most comfortable half. They're going to be fighting the streets fight. And honestly, they got all the utility in the world. I think they're going to be good. But this is where they started to falter yesterday. Right here is where they really started to struggle. Their shocks were misplaced. They were throwing them too early. They weren't getting the value because they were throwing them too early. You know, of course, VQ at that time would then throw their own. They would be able to retake the E neutral hill with ease. That's some things they're going to have to clean up because UYU, hey, if Hive start making mistakes, Give them an inch, they're going to take a mile. And UYU, they're going to take this map.
Yeah, Hive maybe good on the second half, but you're going to have to be good at just closing against this UYU team. And it's so hard to close against them because they get better when their backs get up against the wall and they start having to dig up into their bags of strats to come out, get this lead, and, you know, even just turn up the pressure just a bit because this squad does not want to lose anymore. We'll see if Hive's expertise on this map will be enough to get them to a map number 3. Because I agree with you, they are good at the second half, but we'll see if they'll be good enough today.
So the thing, man, how are you going to play today? We know every dog has a fight in them, but it's a matter of, are you ready to take it? Well, I think for Hive, it shows, at least they're on Asylum, they absolutely wanted a great connection onto Kenny from Shock with the instant that leaves Powerz by himself. And that means Hive is going to maintain E, gather that many more points. But hey, look at this. Praized as well as TJ. They managed to take down Xovios. They went for the overextension. A double home hill cap is there, and Hive is getting antsy. They're now pushing through UYU spawn.
And they're looking to close this round out. And they're in a good position to do so. If they can win this big fight at E. But they will not be able to because UYU, they're going to be able to win these fights, push them back. But as I say that, Taylor, Hive will be able to push out that E hill, but they pushed into, they ran into their deaths. They're on their opponent's side of the map. UYU was easily able to clean up those kills, and now they're going to be transitioning up top towards E. They already had their home hill locked in, and now they just get to sit back and relax and watch for, wait for Hive to come in the dome. And then UYU, let's look at their utility. Only one flash grenade, I believe, that I thought I saw in the hands of Kenny, but I don't even see that no more. Did he tag it somewhere?
But he picks it up. He gets that shock.
Okay.
Let's pick up that shock. So, you know, there's a couple of things that happen in that engagement, right? UYU goes for the overextension. They lock in the home hills. Hive then tries to push through, and I understand why they do that, because they want to maintain the neutral. They're convinced that they're going to be able to take those players off the flank. But in the end, UYU just cleans them up. And I think Hive, they had good intentions with that, but maybe just kind of hanging back, not getting his antsy, not getting his aggro would have been the better play. But who knows? Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Demise now left up to his own devices. He's getting chainsawed in half, and UYU's going to take that round. And that right there is what UYU does. Objectively, they're sound. That overextension with the two players is what did Hive in, because it forced them to rotate off of the neutral, extend their way through. They got super aggro. They get punished for it, and UYU now leads 3-2.
And man, that's not the only thing they do. They have these small little plays that they do as well to help be that much better than their opponent, even if it's just by an inch. Now, we saw Kenny there with the flash in his hand, and I was like, I know I saw Myra, I know I saw Kenny, but where did the flash go? And he says, you know what? Before I go back and pick up the shock grenade, I'm just going to drop my flash at the bottom of my stairs, bring the shock back, and then we can use that if we need to back into the team fight. That way we don't have a one flash grenade out of play, because we know how useful those nades are in these fights.
Absolutely, man. Those utilities make all the difference in the world, whether it's getting the instant kill potential or going in and shutting down that lane so you
not
can't
too many
push
people
in.
know about, just being able to just hold the direction on the D-pad in which that weapon is, and you just drop it on the ground. So somebody else, if doesn't have to run back to the spawn and get it, you can just have it there waiting for you.
I think that's fair, right? I mean, just keep it there for your teammates instead of you dropping and it goes to waste, and not keep it around for your teammates overall. But see, 30 seconds is a long time, especially, right? Whenever you think about kind of stacking up, going in there, and then trying to make that push on the E. So 30 seconds may seem like a short time for others, but it's a long time whenever it comes to these rounds.
All right, so we see the fight breaking out here mid-map. UYU got the first kill in the fight, but Tidy gets the last. And now Hive, they have a prime opportunity here to get E and go to their opponent's home hill, because there's only 2 members alive of UYU, and they're contesting E. As Hive step into this hill and force these players to him, they waited for the flank. Because they waited for a flank, their player was left in a 1v1 at the home hill of UYU. Now I'm questioning that flank. I think that you go for the double cap there. You know, you let the 2v2 fight up top, but you know, we are able to see something that's completely different than the players in the moment, right? So UYU was able to get another breath of life here. They get control of the E, and now they're looking for more.
Player 7's going to be up that respawn for UYU. Powerz locks into home hill. I like the idea from player 6 of TJ just kind of peppering those Hive members as they were coming out of spawn, right? Making them think twice, making them think that, hey, someone could be on our flank. And Xovios is going to go for that challenge. But it looks like Hive is going to get the break on to E. They're going to take it in place. But look at UYU, so strong, already pushing up.
Now this shot grenade is going to hold off that push, but now it's gone. UYU in position for the decap. Praized takes a 1v2 on the tracks to say, hey, can we end this? Hello, can y'all win y'all fights? I'm out here bodying kids.
Well, it's not going to end just yet, but Praized is still going to be there, getting challenged by Shock, and Shock will finally silence him. And that double train will move through, and Shock's going to continue his way up, but the reality is UYU, they got a lead. It continues to gain, and Hive, they don't have the troops to make an effective push as of yet.
Now, number 5 did make it to UYU's home hill, but he has so many players around him, he walked into a trap. UYU, they're going to push through E, and that gets them an elimination domination here in round number 6. Hive does not want to allocate any more respawns to that round. It was one in which they hoped that they were able to get this all tied up 3-3, but they have to focus just on these remaining few rounds here. And this weapon selection is going to be a big one because you already got the utility nades on the map that you need to be able to execute the strategies in which you want. But how is it that you can get another leg up on your opponent here? And they say, you know what? We just have to keep these even. And the way that we get a leg up is out teamworking them, okay? Being able to come together and win together as a unit with what we got. That's going to be hard against UYU. We'll see if they can do it because I feel like this UYU team right now got something to prove.
On board with Powerz, a fantastic game so far. 16-6, 11 deaths. He's leading his team when it comes to the overall KDA. So I gotta say, he's putting in that work and he's doing it well. At this point in time, we are going to have a standstill, and it looks like UYU, even though they're going to be down 1 point, might want Hive to push in. I think they feel as if the usage of their utility, as well as with their front guy player right now being that of Powerz, I think they feel confident that, hey, if Hive does push in, we can effectively take these 2 or 3 members down and have a huge advantage objectively. And wow, what a connection from Xplosive. From downtown, Xovios falls, and UYU now can push through, but that's an even better counter with the Shock.
Yep, so Xplosive is able to slow them down. Now he's going to get an extra teammate here to help him. But they need to, they're waiting for number 1 here to get into the mix. They won't be able to start this fight now because UYU is going to take initiative to cap this hill. And incendiary grenade came in a little bit late. I feel like they could have possibly hit that nade at the entrance door. So if UYU was going to cap, they would have had to cap out in the open. I could have possibly got some downs there, but now they need to get to their home hill to get the cleanup on these kills, and Shock may be able to make the play, but he put out enough damage for Demise to stop the trip cap, and now he'll be able to get this hill back, and UYU is going to choose to disengage because they got a nice little lead here, and they're just going to wait for reinforcements to end this map.
But look, you got Xovios on his last life. Okay, you lose one player, you're in a 5v4 against any team, you're going to be in trouble. So Xovios has to play this so well, and it looks as if, you know, he's probably going to resort, honestly, to kind of hanging back. I don't see him being able to push up. He's going to have to play on tracks. He might get pushed by Praized, but it's not even going to matter. Look at this battle for E. UYU is cleaning it up. They're handling it well. That Lancer fire, flawless. E gets broken, no worries. They take it over once again, and I don't think they're going to stop here. UYU might continue forward, but believe it or not, they don't. And I think it's just simply because that lead is just too far gone. The triple cap, honestly, would be more risk than reward.
Also, they're not even playing for the triple cap domination. They're just like slay out, hold the 2, slay out, hold the 2. They see Xovios is on respawn watch, and they know how aggressive Hive can be when it comes down to these fights. And at this point, Hive, they have to commit everything. So UYU, they're going to just see if they can take Xovios out of here, as he's going to be down low playing a home hill. And UYU is going to stack 2 in that direction of the map. They say, hey, if you want to fight, you're going to fight a 1v2, possibly win this for your team. And we see Xovios goes down. UYU wins the battle up top. And that's going to be all she wrote, Taylor.
Yep. That's going to be all she wrote. Hey, short series. I'm not going to lie. It feels weird coming on for just one series. We might catch another, but 5-2 is going to be it. Quick 2-0. And UYU, man, they handle their business, and they'll take that win. And honestly, it's got to feel good. It's probably one of the most dominant wins they've had as of yet.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. You know, I felt like watching UYU play from the start of Pro League to Emergence Day that, you know, they were a little bit slow to start, right? Like, I was able to feel that the pressure that they were feeling. But this series, it seemed like they were just going over what they practiced all week, okay? Not trying to overextend, not trying to do too much, not trying to pick up exactly where they left off from last season, and understanding that we have to grow into what we were before and then excel past that